Some of us was in the 2nd Kansas Colored before the Rambos of the Jenkins Ferry last April, just after they killed every Negro soldier captured and deported us to France. So in Jenkins Ferry, we decided we weren't taking no rare prisoners. We wanted every one of them alive. For those of us who didn't die that day, we joined up with the 116th U.S. Colored, sir, from Camp Nelson, Kentucky.
What's your name, soldier?
Roderick Hale Green, sir.
I'm Corporal Eric Clark, sir. 5th Massachusetts Cavalry, and we're waiting over there. We're leaving our horses behind, and we're zipping out with the 24th Military for the assault next week in Wilmington.
How long have you been a soldier?
2 years, sir.
2nd Colored Infantry. They fought bravely at the Jenkins Ferry.
That's right, sir. They killed 1,000 rebel soldiers, sir. They were very brave, and each making $3 less than a white soldier, sir.
Our 2nd Kansas boy.
Yes, but that's $3 away from our salary for our uniforms.
You're right, sir, but that's changed.
Things have changed, but there's still no equal pay for commissioned Negro officers.
I am aware of that, Corporal Clark.
Yes, sir. It's good that you're aware of that now, sir. But the white people have accounted themselves to see Negro men with guns fighting on their behalf. And now they can tolerate Negro men getting equal pay, maybe in a few years. They can abide to the idea of Negro lieutenants and captains. In 50 years, maybe, a Negro colonel. 100 years to the vote.
What will you do after the war, Corporal Clark?
Work, sir. Perhaps you'll hire me.
Perhaps I will.
But you should know, sir, that I cannot cut hair.
And I have not found a man that can cut mine, so it'll make no difference.
You got springy hair for a white man.
Now the last barber hanged himself, and the one before that. He even left the scissors in his will.
President Lincoln, sir.
Good evening, boys.
We saw you when we was at Gettysburg. You boys were at Gettysburg? We didn't fight there. We signed up last month. We saw him at the cemetery dedication 2 years ago.
Yeah, we heard him speak. Hey, how tall are you anyway?
Oh, geez, shut up.
Could you hear what I said?
No, sir, not much.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
That's good, thank you.
Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war.
That's good, thank you.
We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives and that nation might live.
His uncles, they died second day in battle.
I know the last part. It is rather...
Company out, moving out.
Well, you had best go find your company.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.
God bless you too.
It is rather that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
2nd Regiment Kansas Volunteer Infantry was an infantry regiment that served in the Union Army during the American Civil War. It was organized as Fort Scott, Kansas. The regiment lost at least 71 men during their service, which was for about 3 years. These records are incomplete because most of the records were lost after the action at Jenkins Ferry.
At the Battle of Jenkins Ferry, each side sustained a large number of casualties, and a general was killed on each side. As a result of the battle, the Union force was able to complete a successful retreat from a precarious position at Camden, Arkansas, to their defenses at Little Rock, Arkansas.
The 116th Regiment Infantry U.S. Colored Troops was organized at Camp Nelson, Kentucky. This was a unit of colored men fighting during the Civil War on the Union side.
The Gettysburg Address is the most famous speech of the U.S. President Abraham Lincoln and one of the most quoted famous speeches in United States history. It was delivered at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on November 19, 1863. Lincoln invoked the principles of human equality espoused by the Declaration of Independence and redefined the Civil War as a struggle not merely for the Union but as a new birth of freedom that would bring true equality to all of its citizens.
Beginning with the now iconic phrase, 7 years ago,
Lincoln referred to the events of the American Revolution and described the ceremony at Gettysburg as an opportunity not only to dedicate the grounds of a cemetery, but also to consecrate the living in the struggle to ensure that a government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.